Hi pals, we're here again at the studio, our studio and your studio, and today I'm really super excited because I'm with the multi-talented artist Vladimir. It's so good to see you, Jay.
Oh, too kind. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We've known each other for a long time, and I want you to tell your story today. I want you to inspire those folks out there. What is it that made you want to pursue your dream?
Well, the funny part is it was all kind of by accident, it really was. I had a little modeling career that did not last long. Like, I wasn't no Hollister, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have that chiseled jaw back then. So my career was like 2 weeks. So what happens, I wanted to stay in the industry, but I didn't know how to kind of be in that fashion, the modeling stuff. So they would say, well, why don't you just take some of our comp cards or take photos for some people? And it kind of like, when you have the eye or you have that, what I call like that Michael Jordan gift where you just know how to shoot and you just know and you can explain it and it's just natural. Mm-hmm. That's how I kind of started the career. And since then it's just been trickling, and the word, people would talk about it and people would say things and they would, hey, you got to go to this photographer, and it kind of just built. And it's since then I haven't turned back.
That's
just
amazing.
Been doing it.
That is amazing. But what is it that inspires you? Where do you get your inspiration from to do your shoots?
My biggest inspiration is deconstructive art. So I like when artists will get something like that is a pop culture pop culture like character or anything, and they make it they take that and they make it and they change it up, or like graffiti work, or like even as crazy as it sounds, but just regular articles in magazines like Men's Health or any of those issues. I go through them. If I see something, I'll take a picture of it. I'll put it in my mood board. And then my biggest thing that I love now is Pinterest. Oh my God, like my Pinterest accounts, like if they ever look at my Pinterest, they're like, okay, I don't know where this guy's going. He's got cakes, and then he's got shoes, then he's got models. And then like literally if you look at it, there's weird just photos of just stuff,
It's awesome though, it's absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, that's what makes you. You are superiorly talented in many ways, and you can see it when you look at your work. I mean, I look at your work and it's just incredible. So
man, I need to come over all the time, just like I feel good. I feel good inside. Thank you, I appreciate it.
How do you make it happen?
So the biggest thing is when you're creating, it doesn't matter what kind of artist you are, is that once you have the vision, once you see it from above and you're like, okay, now this is what I want to create, and you add your twist, your turn, or however it is, everything from like a sous chef to like a photographer, whatever it is, once you have the vision, the process is, to me, it's very, very simple. You start making the phone calls, you start picking the dates, you start picking the direction you want to go, and by the time you know it, you give birth to this idea that it may be a month and maybe 2 months, but you wake up that day and you're there. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, and I've had projects that have taken 3 years because I've copy and paste on my mood board a color, a place, and an idea, and 3 years later, just everything falls into place where I could be like, I'm going to create that today.
That's amazing. What would you say to those people out there who are, wanting to become you? We were talking about it, weren't we, Jay? It's not about the money, it's about the passion, isn't it?
Yes, and I encourage everybody, like whoever, if you have not picked the camera or you have picked the camera, I am a true believer that you need to be driven by passion. Like you just do it because you love it. I always feel like if you do the opposite and you're doing it, to for the money or for the fame, I feel like you put almost like a wall or a block into your creative aspect of the work, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Like you just do it. I always tell people the best camera is the one you just pick up, because what you're doing is you're pushing yourself to the limit of your creative mind. What can I do? How can I do it better? I want to show the world what I see. I want to move society into the temperatures that I'm seeing out there. And those kind of things you can't be driven by, hey, I just need a job, let me do this, or I need money, let me do this. Because if you do that, I feel like you become a catalyst of something else that is not you, you know? So
well, it doesn't make your soul good. It doesn't make you feel good.
Right.
I mean, you can get up every day and you must feel absolutely fantastic about what you're going to do next because you're feeding what you want to do.
No, correct. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And that's the thing. It's like you have to look in the mirror yourself and say, you know, how you like me now? Like, who are you? Are you going to be the artist? Are you going to be that creator? Or are you going to treat this like working at and there's nothing wrong with working like at a gas station where I just want to get the paycheck. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that you have to truly be transparent to yourself. And once you figure that out, you know, you'll realize you won't be playing yourself 20 years down the road. You won't be going, oh man, this is where my life has ended up. Because I have been in those phases where, especially like in 2010, when the economy was, you know, all messed up with everything and we were trying to get back up, there was a part of me that said, can I do this just because of a hobby, because it's not paying the bills, because everyone's saying, hey, we just can't afford you or whatever. Am I going to keep doing this or am I going to move forward and, you know, do something else, right? So in those trials, you find out who you truly are when you're like squeezed like a lemon, you know? And
Absolutely.
if you start doing this industry or this work or this art, photography, whatever it is, and you start from the beginning foundation that I love what I do, I'm passionate about it, I just want to create, I promise you by the time when you're 80, you'll still be having that drive. And you may have a couple of slopes, but you won't be disappointed in what you created and what you do and who you become, really. So
I mean, and that's it for everybody. I mean, it's a good thing to be telling people, you know, to not have any regrets. You know,
right,
that's
exactly.
what you truly want to do, then just do it. Just go ahead and do it. And how has renting equipment helped you to do this?
This has innovated, I think for me, it has revolutionized the way I do my process, because think about it. Before, when you had only a 50mm lens, right? There's a cap to that. You can't do those creamy bokehs that you want, or those compression photos where you're just looking at them, they're like so beautiful and fairy tale. But by renting, now you're expanding the ability to say, wow, I can use this 300mm lens. What's my potential now, right?
Yeah.
Or let's just say, because I use Nikon. I know, I'm sorry, people. I use the dark horse. My apologies. Nikon, you know it. Anyways. But I use Nikon, right? But by renting, I can go into a whole different, a full format camera that I've never tried before. I can shoot 8 to 9 seconds different, you know? And what happens is, by renting, what you're doing is you are not capping yourself, just like a salary cap.
Yeah.
You are letting yourself run at 100 miles an hour with creative work, creative flow. And so the neat thing is, with renting, you're also saving pocket money, what I call it, or what I call like that Uber Eats money. You know, you gotta save that. but it is true, because I can now get a red camera and not pay, you know, in the 10s and the 20s.
Price.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And if for some reason, if I'm that artist that goes, you know something, I'm just not feeling this camera. I don't know why, but you know, I'm not feeling this camera. Well, guess what? Next week you rent something else, and you find your niche. It's almost like I always say, I'm a big shoe person. I love shoes. You know.
Me too.
So to me, I'll buy a shoe sometimes, and I'll be like, I just paid that money, and I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. I just put it on the shelf, get another shoe, right? If they rent the shoes, that's a good idea.
Oh no.
That's,
I know what you mean.
But that's the thing. That's the thing that renting is so valuable now, I feel, because in the automotive industry, I've done a lot of work with them. They always say that leasing is a privilege, you know, and so. Because you can always, you can lease a vehicle, get 3 years, get another one. I feel the same way with renting. It's a privilege to say, hey, you have no excuses now. You're creative, but you're like, how do I create it? We have all the equipment. So now you have no excuse not to create. You have no excuse to push it to the max in your ability, you know?
Yeah.
So
and there's always something new coming out for you to try. But you say you're a Nikon person, and you are, you are. But tomorrow, you're really going to do something different, aren't you? Tell us about that.
Perfect example. So tomorrow we're again, I'm expanding the innovation of how I see things to the next level. We're going to be shooting a project with a couple beverages where they're going to be submersed in water. Fruits are going to be flying everywhere. You guys are going to see it. You're going to see it where bubbles are everywhere in a fish tank bowl. I mean, everything. But see, again, by renting this equipment, now what we're doing is I'm going at a macro level where you're able to see the little bubbles around fruit sink to the bottom of a tank. And that's what's beautiful about this process, is because literally if I use a 50mm lens, yeah, you'll max that lens to as full as you can. But imagine when there is a blank check, when you literally are renting whatever you want, and all you do now is you are trial and error, and you're creating that. And like I said, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a great project. But these are the beautiful things of what I truly believe. If all creators would think like that, if they would just say, you know something, no excuses. Let me get a handset of lenses, equipment, whatever, and I'm just gonna go out there. You'd be surprised some of the most beautiful, authentic things that will be created for mankind, literally.
Yeah. It's like creating magic, because it is. It is. Magic,
I totally agree. Look at that.
Yeah.
I'm there. We're there.
So I know you have something really fabulous that you wanting to do in the future, which you're going to do.
Yes.
Can you share that with us?
So I'm growing up with my family, especially. We were truly believe never to keep nothing under the hat, because what happens is, a lot of people like to have their ideas and they like to just keep them within themselves, and they'll say whenever's the right time. But what happens is every time you speak and you talk about where your end game is, or where your direction you're going, or what your focus is, you're giving birth to that idea. And I truly believe that. I believe like you almost speak it to existence. You're
putting it out into the universe, aren't you? So
yeah, and so since day one, my end game or my goal is to start opening art galleries of my work. Commission work from beautiful black and whites that are 34, black frame, where you walk in and you're like, eating a Krispy Kreme or something, and you're like, wow, this is an amazing photo. I don't know what I'm looking at. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
that good, that beautiful kind of artwork with also, and I don't know if you know this, but I do also art like statues and stuff like that, and painting.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so things like that are wrapped around in these kind of aspects of a whole gallery. So one of the things I'm working on is to do my first one. Of course, I live in Orlando, so gotta start out somewhere. But I encourage people to seriously don't put nothing under that hat, because you literally can be beside the guy who can write you that check in an elevator.
Well, that's it. You just don't know who you're going to talk to, who you're going to bump into, and what can come out of that.
Totally agree.
And that is just
because I'll tell you a story that I heard. I don't know how I may mess up on the details, but technically I'll tell you like the synopsis of the concept of how they deal. I guess there was a fashion designer that wanted to have their clothes on Macy's, or just have it displayed, but they couldn't get no phone calls. They couldn't get to that next stage. So literally this woman stood outside the restroom of one of the CEOs of Macy's with her portfolio of all her designs, and waited till the man got out of the restroom to show him the portfolio. And literally, it changed her life, And so the opportunity of keeping, imagine if she kept that and say, one day I'm going to design clothes, and I just
that day never comes. You've just got to go for it.
So my biggest goal now is that I'm working on the art gallery. I'm trying to progressively move that forward, as well as doing the work. Because at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself are you willing to leave an imprint, a fingerprint, a seal of approval to the world that needs to be inspired, because sometimes you have to inspire the uninspired. Are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
Or are you willing to just let it die with you? You know what I'm saying? Under your hat.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things that I'm just as long as I'm breathing, I'm just gonna keep producing, keep creating, keep pushing forward into the work. My favorite movie, it's the weirdest thing, it's this cartoon movie, The Robinsons, where it's this little kid, it's a Disney movie where he says, well, keep pushing forward, or keep moving forward. That movie, I know it's just a little kid's movie, but it literally changed my life, because I saw the main golden seal of approval there. It's like, just keep creating, because the only one that can stop you in reality, it isn't the government, it isn't people, it isn't your family, it's yourself.
It is,
so,
Jay.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I look at your work all the time, and it's stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. And one of the latest ones that I looked at that took my breath away, it really did, was the ballerina with the wings.
Oh yes.
I mean, please, it's just stunning, and it's beautiful. And how did you come up with that idea for that?
So I think the movie, I hope I'm saying it right, but the Black Swan, that movie that came out I think in 2009 or 10, I'm not sure, it's been a while. I saw that movie and literally, again, the process came into place. I took a picture of when I was watching the movie, I took a picture of her with the feathers and everything. I took that picture and I put it in my little like notes, and just saved it. That's all I did. And then little by little, I started falling in love with ballet, just like the elegance and the movement and everything. So I started cutting and pasting in my Pinterest these ideas. And this is a while back. Till I knew that the day where I find the right dancer, the right performer, and just the right timing. And once that happened, then we technically created it little by little. And those kind of things, again, it's beautiful when it's done because you're giving birth to something that it's gonna, you can see the forefront of it, you can see it's eventually gonna happen, but you really nurture it till it comes to life. And I love those photos. Thank you so much that you love them, because I truly, it's my favorite. It's one of my favorites.
I do. Every time I look at it, it just takes my breath away, Jay. I mean, truly. You are such a special person.
Oh, stop it. You say that to all the
truly. I mean, I love you to death. I love you to death. If people want to go and look at your work, where can they go to see your work?
You can go to Vladimir, so it's JVladimir.com. Wow, I know that too well. I know that more than my social, that's just bad. No, or you can go on Instagram, j.vladimir, and find my work. But just connect with me. If you have any questions, I am one of those people that will DM you back. Because I'm still waiting for that response for The Rock, or Jason Statham. Come on, man! I've been leaving you.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I do those random ones like, "What up, bro? Long time no see." He saw it. He saw the text, but did not reply. So, anyways, we won't get into that. That's a whole different conversation. But yes, you can message me your questions, DM me, go on the website. However, and I just want, I know there's somebody out there that is on the cuff of making a whole festival of art, where it's people just showcase, more and more of those. I hope that you're out there in your garage and you're thinking of opening one. Yeah. I hope you're inspired to keep creating, renting equipment, creating, doing design, whatever it is. Just keep pushing, because I'm telling you, I feel that is the kiss of life when it comes to the world that we live in, the crazy world we live in. So
it is. Yeah. Well, you inspire me every time I talk to you.
Yeah.
And it's been an absolute pleasure.
Likewise.
No, you are always welcome. So thanks for watching, pals. Until the next time. So it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from
Jay Vladimir.
Thank you.